Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hello and welcome to ForumIAS. Today is 16th April 2023 and these are all the articles that we are going to discuss today. Let's move to the first article. It is about aspirational toilets. So this aspirational toilet is coming up under the Swachh Bharat Mission version 2.0. We'll see what is this mission in the next slide. But before that, what does this article say? So, these aspirational toilets are basically high-end toilets and they will have luxurious bath cubicles, they'll have touchless flushing, breastfeeding mechanisms, then automatic sanitary napkin incinerators. All these things will be there in the aspirational toilets. And the new norm is that whatever new toilets are added in urban areas, 25% of them should be this aspirational toilets. Aspirational toilets. So, it is proposed that these kind of toilets will be focused on areas with high footfall like religious places, like tourist destinations. First priority in these locations, the aspirational toilets will be created. Okay, and there are many revenue models to finance this aspirational toilets. One is that they will be attached to other public amenities like libraries, like cinemas, etc., or cafes, so that there will be a sustainable revenue model. So that's it about this article. Now, from prelims point of view, we have to talk about what is the Swachh Bharat Mission Urban. So we initially had Swachh Bharat Mission Urban, that is SBMU, and it was launched on 2nd October 2019. So the objectives were 100% ODF status achievement, 100% scientific solid waste management, and behavior change through Jan Andolan, that is people's revolution. That's what Jan Andolan means for our friends who don't know Hindi. So this SBMU, it has been upgraded to SBMU 2.0. and the period of this is from 2021 to 2026. So this is a 5-year period. And what are the objectives of SBM Urban 2.0? So here the vision is to achieve garbage free urban India. And how are we going to achieve this? Through source segregation, collection and transportation, effective management, reduction in single-use plastic. Through all these measures, we are going to achieve the vision of garbage-free India. That's the first objective. Second objective is that through SBMU, we achieved the ODF status. Now in version 2.0, we want to sustain the ODF status. We want to maintain that structure, maintain that success. And the third objective is to do information, education and communication and behavior change. So this IEC, this is a keyword, you can even use it in mains. It is mainly for awareness creation. So these are all the components of SBM version 2.0, and in this we saw that there must be a garbage free urban India, right? So how is this going to be measured? There is a initiative called as Star Rating Protocol for Garbage Free Cities. So under this star rating, how will they provide star rating? Like we provide star rating for Uber drivers, Ola drivers. How are we going to provide star rating for cities based on their garbage status? So the components are source segregation, how scientifically the waste is processed in this city, dump site remediation, how well the penalties are enforced, and how the city is complying by use of bulk waste generators, what is the cleanliness status of drains and water bodies, how the plastic waste management is carried out, construction and demolition waste, how is it handled. Like this, there are many metrics. So from exam point of view, you need not by heart these metrics. Just know that there is a star rating protocol for garbage free cities under the SBM urban version 2.0, and under this there are 6 cities under the 5-star rating, 86 cities have 3-star rating, and 65 cities are having 1-star rating. So we have much to achieve in terms of bringing these cities to 5-star rating. So that's it for this article. Second article is about China's new facilities in Myanmar and Sri Lanka. So here they are talking about Coco Islands of Myanmar. So here China is constructing a military facility, and they are also constructing a ground station in Sri Lanka at Hambantota. So using these two locations, it is possible that China can surveil the entire region. So there are allegations and there are some prospects going about that a whole military base is built in the Coco Island, and they have observed radome, that is dome shaped structure. There will be a dome shaped structure in which the radar is there. So this is called as the radome. In 2019 mains, they had asked about something called as cyber dome. Similarly, they might ask what is radome etc. in your prelims or mains. That is why we are highlighting it. What is a radome? Dome shaped structure to protect radars. They were also spotted in the Coco Island. And what is the impact of this? Like what can be done by China with these facilities? How is it impacting India? For that, we need to see the map. So here this small dot is the Coco Island. This is our Andaman and Nicobar Island. So we have our satellite launching station Sriharikota. It is located somewhere here, right? And in Odisha we have the Wheeler Island or the APJ Abdul Kalam Island, from where missiles are tested. So if you see the Coco Island, it is very close to these strategic locations like Wheeler Island, a strategic location like Sriharikota, from where the satellites are launched. So if they are having such a proximity, China can gather sensitive data about the kind of missiles that are being tested, the kind of satellites that are being launched. So that is a threat for India. So here you can see much clearly, here we have Myanmar and this is the Great Coco Island, which is located just above Andaman Islands of India. So here we have the Sitwe region. Here also there is a Chinese base that is coming up. Okay, so that's about the location. And also we have the new surveillance place in Sri Lanka also that is coming up. So this is a part of string of pearls theory, that is China encircling India. So here we have Bangladesh. In Chittagong there is a port, Chittagong of Bangladesh. There is a Chinese facility, and in Myanmar we have the Sitwe port, and in the same Myanmar we have the Coco Island, and in Sri Lanka we have Hambantota, and also Maldives. Here in Pakistan we have the Gwadar port. So like this, if you can see, China is encircling India, and that is called as the string of pearls. So this article talks about dual use facilities. Dual use facilities means it can be used for military as well as civilian purpose. They are the dual use facilities. So the news article talks about these facilities coming up in Myanmar and Sri Lanka, and the deeper understanding that we need to have from this is about the string of pearls theory. So what is the string of pearls theory? It is the Chinese intention to establish a network in the Indian Ocean region. So each pearl is some form of Chinese presence. So here we have each pearl. So you can treat this as the first pearl, second pearl, third pearl. So each pearl, that is pearl, each pearl, it represents the Chinese presence. Each pearl represents Chinese presence. Alright. So we already listed all these things, right? Gwadar, Hambantota, Sitwe, etc. These are all components of the string of pearls. So these are dual use facilities. Though they are purported to be commercial ports, they can easily be used by China for military and security purposes also. So what will be the impact of this string of pearls on India? So the first thing is the strategic impact. That is, simply speaking, China is surrounding India. China isn't having any opening in the Indian Ocean. It doesn't have a port of its own in the Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean, the impact, the cloud that India has in Indian Ocean is huge. But because of Chinese presence in Indian Ocean, it will be able to dominate it. So the traditional cloud, that is cloud means influence. The traditional influence of India in the Indian Ocean region, it might be reduced because of this Chinese domination in the Indian Ocean region. That is the first impact. Second impact is the economic impact. So if China is encircling India, then we need to spend a lot of resources for our defense and security. So the resources are getting diverted to these kind of initiatives rather than development initiatives. That is also a Chinese strategy to divert our priorities so that it hampers the economic growth of India. And the third impact is in terms of maritime security. So it threatens India's security through water. So here you can see, from water China can approach, right? So India's maritime security is threatened. And what India is doing to counter this? The first thing is we have the Act East policy, by which India is connecting with countries like Vietnam, South Korea, Japan, Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, etc. so that they are able to collaborate against the Chinese domination. Second is military relationships like Quad. Quad is a grouping which consists of 4 countries. What are those? India, Australia, Japan and the USA. And individually, India has military relationships with Australia, Japan, etc. We keep conducting military exercises, naval exercises in the region. So, we are building an alliance. Then, we have the Chabahar port in Iran, which is a counter to Gwadar port in Pakistan, which is by China. Then, we are moving closer with France, so that we are getting access to Djibouti. So Djibouti is an African country which is located in the Horn of Africa. This is the African coast. Assume that this is African coast. So in the African coast, China is having a military base in Djibouti. France is also having a military base in the same Djibouti. So because of our alliance with France, we are also able to get access to Djibouti. And if China is encircling India from the south, we are surrounding China in the north by alliance with countries like Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, etc. So these are all the measures that India is taking to counter China, especially the Chinese string of pearls. Alright, so that's it about this article. Moving to the next article. So already the textile ministry had initiatives like My Handloom, My Pride, My Sari, My Pride. These are all initiatives or social media hashtags which were promoted by Union Textile Ministry to promote the usage of handloom sarees. Alright, now Textile Ministry is going to launch a e-commerce platform so that through this e-commerce platform, weavers can directly sell to consumers so that they can realize more profit. Okay, so why the Textile Ministry is doing that? So these handloom handicraft sectors, they are done by traditional artisans. They don't have the scalability. They don't have the marketing ability like multinational companies. So they need exposure in terms of marketing, raw materials, product design support. All these support are needed for these traditional artisans. So in a bid to support these artisans, Textile Ministry is considering creating a new e-commerce platform for selling hand woven sarees. So that is given in this article. Now going to the background, we will see some of the traditional handloom sarees and the stage to which they belong. So this is very important for prelims. Okay, so pay attention. Pochampalli, it belongs to Telangana. Fulkari belongs to Punjab. Muga for Assam. Kasavu is the traditional saree of Kerala. Bandhani is the traditional saree of Gujarat. Chanderi is the traditional saree of Madhya Pradesh. Chikankari, this is belonging to the Lucknow region. It belongs to Uttar Pradesh. And one more famous saree, hand woven saree is there for Uttar Pradesh. Those who know, comment it. Okay, let me see how well you have studied. Then we have Ilkal sarees of Karnataka and Paithani sarees of Maharashtra. So these are all the traditional sarees of various states of India. To give you a visual treat, this is the Kasavu of Kerala. So you have the white saree with golden borders, right? Then we have the Pochampalli saree of Telangana. We have these geometrical patterns. See, we have geometrical patterns. That is the speciality of Pochampalli sarees. Alright, moving to the next article. It is about how Omicron variant is evolving strategies to evade T-cell immunity. Okay. So this is a very in-depth science article, but we need not go that in-depth. You just have to have a awareness about science topics. So if you are going too depth into science and technology topics, then you will lose out on time which you need to concentrate for bigger topics like polity, modern history, geography, economy, etc. Okay, so we'll have a basic understanding of what they are talking about in this article. Before that, you have to understand what this T cell is. Okay, what is this T cell? T cell is a type of white blood cell. So we have the white blood cell, blood stem cell. So it is a kind of a white blood cell. Okay, there are other white blood cells like B cells, T cells. Then we have eosinophil, neutrophil, basophil. These are all not important for the article. Just understand that T cell is a type of a white blood cell. Okay, so it is a part of the immune system and it is developed from stem cells in the bone marrow. That is why it comes from stem cell. That is shown in the diagram also. So what is the utility of this T cell? A T cell, it protects the body from infection. So this T cell is a fighter. It will fight the infection. It will kill the virus, whatever is the incoming virus, bacteria. It kills the pathogen. That is the function of T cell, and they are also called as T lymphocyte or thymocyte. Here it is written T lymphocyte. It is also called thymocyte. And there are two types of T cells. The first one is the cytotoxic T cells, which will destroy the infected cells. Okay. And second one is the helper T cells. They will send signals that direct the other immune cells. It will prompt the other immune cells to fight the infection. So we have understood that T cells are basically, simply speaking, fighters. Okay. This is just for understanding. It's just a simplified explanation. So understand that T cells are fighters. Then we'll be able to understand the article in a much better way. Okay. So here we have a cell. Okay. So this cell is infected with some virus. So in our case, we are talking about Omicron, which is a variant of SARS-CoV-2 virus. Okay. So this is an infected cell, and on the surface of a infected cell, there are MHC1 molecules. What is this MHC1 molecule? The expansion is major histocompatibility complex class 1. So it is a material which is present on the surface of an infected cell. So first we have to understand what is T cell. Okay. Second, we have to understand what is this MHC1. Okay. So these are the fighters. These are the material that is present on the surface of an infected cell. Alright. So what do T cells do? The article itself says T cells reduce the viral load and clear the infection by detecting and killing the infected cells. So what happens when a virus infects the cell? So immediately our immune system, what it does is, the virus, a part of the virus is attached to the MHC1 molecules. Okay. So what happens? When this cell is being infected by a virus, our immune system attaches that virus to the MHC1 molecules that are present outside the cell. Okay. So what happens is that once this particular viruses, they are attached to the MHC1 molecule, then the T cell will be easily able to identify this foreign body, this antigen, and it will be able to kill that. Okay. Simply speaking, MHC1 is getting attached to the virus. Okay. If this attachment is happening, T cell will be easily able to identify, because it is getting attached to this, and it will kill the virus. This is the normal mechanism. What this Omicron is doing is that it is inhibiting the MHC1 expression so that the T cell is not clearly able to detect the virus. Only if the virus binds to MHC1, then the virus is detected by T cell. What Omicron does is, it inhibits this particular MHC1. So the T cell's ability to fight the virus is reduced, and the virus can thus multiply. This is the defense mechanism developed by the virus to fight our immune system. Okay. So here they have said immune evasion from CD8 T cells could allow the virus survive better in the infected cells. So by inhibiting this MHC1, there is a immune evasion that is happening. Okay. So what the viruses do? Common tricks that viruses use to avoid killing is to inhibit MHC1 expression and presentation. And the article is saying that the previous variants of SARS-CoV-2 compared to that, this Omicron, it has higher capability to inhibit this particular MHC1. So it is more virulent. That is, it is more capable of fighting our immune system. Alright. So this is what is mentioned in the article. So from exam point of view, just know what is T cell and what is happening in the Omicron variant when it is inhibiting this MHC1 expression, and what is the impact that is creating on our immune system's ability to fight the disease. That's it. It's very simple. You need not pick your brains to understand the deeper things. It's as simple as that. Just understand the basics and move on. The last article of the day is about magnetoresistance in graphene. Okay, here also it is a very in-depth science article, but we need not go in-depth. Anyway, they will ask simple questions with respect to science. So just understand what it is and move on. That's what I am also going to do. I'll just make you understand the basics of this so that you can easily answer an MCQ. We will restrict our discussion to that level. We are not going to do a PhD in science. Okay. First of all, what is this graphene? A graphene is a single atom thick layer of carbon atoms bonded in a honeycomb pattern. So here we have the graphene structure. So it is single atom thick. See, the thickness is very small. It's a layer of single atom thickness, and these carbon atoms are bonded to each other in the honeycomb fashion. This is graphene. Okay. So the new finding, what does it say, is that graphene has giant magnetoresistance, GMR, at room temperature, and this is 100 times greater than other semi-metals. So which is a very big thing. It is 100 times greater than other semi-metals. Now, what is this GMR? Okay. So we'll first understand that there are. So we have two ferromagnetic materials. Like iron, which are attracted to magnets. So these two are ferromagnetic materials. And a conductor is sandwiched between these two ferromagnetic material. Okay. So assume that this is a conductor of electricity. Okay. So if these two ferromagnetic material means the metals that can attracted to magnets, those are the ferromagnetic materials. So if both of these ferromagnetic plates are polarized in the same direction, say for example they are both positively polarized, so then what happens is that the electrical resistance of this conductor becomes very low. If the resistance becomes low, then current can flow more easily. So here this is the first case. We saw that both these materials are polarized in the same direction. What if they are polarized in opposite direction? So this side it is positively polarized and this side it is negatively polarized. Then the resistance increases. So the resistance of this material will increase. This is known as magnetoresistance. Magnetoresistance means what? It resists a magnetic field. It repels a magnetic field. That is what is magnetoresistance. So simply speaking, a conductor is placed between two ferromagnetic materials and these two ferromagnetic materials are polarized in the opposite direction, then the resistance of this particular conductor increases and it repels magnetic fields. That is called as GMR or giant magnetoresistance. So this GMR, it is used to sense magnetic fields. So if it has magnetic resistance, when we come across a magnetic field, it will repel that magnetic field. That is the application of GMR. And this technology is used in hard disk drives, magnetoresistive RAM in computers, biosensors, automotive sensors, medical imagers, etc. So that is the application of GMR. So simply speaking, the research article says that this graphene, it exhibits giant magnetoresistance, and we understood what is giant magnetoresistance, and the researchers are saying that plasma is responsible for this particular magnetoresistance in graphene. But you need not go into that depth. UPSC will not ask questions in that depth. I am not saying this by myself, I am saying this by looking at the previous year questions. So just understand what is this giant magnetoresistance, and graphene has this particular property. That's all. Okay. Plasma is a topic on its own. If you understand that within the context of this article, it will confuse you further. So keep it simple. Understand what is graphene, what is GMR, and what are its applications. That's all. Okay, we are not going to do PhD. We want to clear UPSC. That's all. Okay. Now we'll move on to previous year questions. So the first question of the day. In which of the following relief sculpture inscription is Ranyu Ashokan, King Ashoka, mentioned along with the stone portrait of Ashoka? His picture is also there and it is also labeled. Okay. So where is it? A. Kanganahalli, B. Sanchi, C. Shabasgari, and D. Sogora. So the answer is Kanganahalli, and this is in Karnataka. Okay. Next question. Consider the following. Deification of Buddha. 2. Treading the path of Bodhisattvas. 3. Image worship and rituals. Which of the above is or are the features of Mahayana Buddhism? It's a very important topic. Yes, Buddha is considered as God. That is deification of Buddha. Treading the path of Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are seen as the guides who will help the others to attain salvation. Image worship and rituals. So much so that they use agarbatis, flowers, etc. to worship Buddha. So these are all the features of Mahayana Buddhism. Answer is D, 1, 2 and 3. Next. With reference to forced labor Vishti in India during the Gupta period, which one of the following statements is correct? A. It was considered a source of income for the state, a sort of tax paid by the people. B. It was totally absent in Madhya Pradesh and Kathiawar regions of the Gupta Empire. C. The forced labor was entitled to weekly wages. D. The eldest son of the laborer was sent as the forced laborer. Now how to arrive at the answer? So Vishti is forced labor. Okay. If it is forced labor, you are not going to provide wages. So C is incorrect. So the Gupta Empire, it spanned like nearly the entire subcontinent barring the Tamil Nadu region and some pockets in western coast where the Vakatakas ruled. Okay. So the Gupta Empire, throughout Gupta Empire, this forced labor was present. It's not that it was absent in Madhya Pradesh and Kathiawar regions. So this is also wrong. Now we have these two options. The eldest son of the laborer was sent as the forced laborer. It is unclear. Now understand. A. It was considered a source of income for the state, a sort of tax paid by the people. Only that This tax is not paid in amount, it is paid in kind. You are exerting your bodily energy to work for the state for free. So it is a form of tax that the individual pays to the state. So answer is A. Okay. That's it for today's discussion. Thank you. Follow us on all these social media platforms. This is Induvati signing off. All the best for your exams.